Hello everyone and welcome back. And today we're gonna talk about the season finale of Death Battle. Yes, it's finally here, and surprisingly, it was actually good for once.
Liar!
I know, it's hard to believe that Death Battle would actually do something right for once, but this was actually pretty damn good. I would put this episode in the running for one of the all-time bests. Now, I did have some problems with it, and we'll get to it. But for a long-awaited episode that people have been asking for since the beginning, this was actually pretty damn good. And the meat of this video is the fight itself. Now, the analysis was actually kind of questionable, but I'll get to that. But for once, we're going to shake it up and do things a little bit different. Now, normally you're all used to sitting here and watching me tear Screw Attack a new asshole. But instead of that, we are going to watch the death battle first, and then I'm going to tear Screw Attack a new asshole. So we're just going to sit here and we're going to watch the fight because it's so good. Why the hell not? Let's start out with something fun and positive before I have to start tearing these fuck sticks down. So without further ado, I give you Darksied versus Thanos.
And it's perfect for gaming. You follow me? Sure you do. You're a forward-thinking guy.
At last, there it is.
Hey, Thanos! Buddy! How are you doing? Rocking that chin, as always!
Get off my throne and kneel. Face death at the hand of your new emperor.
You know not the infinite wealth of destruction I command.
Supreme Emperor, I'm galactic, swiping away your tactics, crushing you under my feet. What has nothing to me, turn to dust. Power less 100 feet. Let's start with it. I change reality when I think to the great world. I own it all. I'm the king of the universe now.
Dare strike me.
Put a stop to
Beg
you now.
for the sweet release of death.
You first.
The king. Battle for the universe, let's get striking. Feel the power and the force of the mighty is fighting. Energy blast, hit fast. Moves like lightning. Looking with a new god on the hands of a titan. I'm the king. I'm the king. Yeah, hard and pride crash like when stars collide. Feel it all inside. I'm ready for your soul demise. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. Let's get it on. I'm here. Don't give me love, just fear. Since I made my career, got the universe in my will. My power's making you deal. You ain't ready to roll. I got death's phone number and I'm making a call. I'll walk through portals, step on the borders of time and space. You're never stopping this. King of apocalypse, turn planets into slaves. Better give me respect. I bring sparks to death battles. Legal mega effect. Settle your debt. I took lives to get to the throne. I never regret. Heads roll when I step in. Give me your neck.
I am Thanos. Thanos is supreme. Thanos is God.
Battle for the universe, let's get king. Yeah, hard and pride crafts like when stars collide. Feel it all inside, ready for your soul's demise. I'm the king. I'm the king. Yeah. Inside, I'm full of pride. I'm out the eyes, make me vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die. Yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make me vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die. Yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make you vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die. Yeah. War inside, I'm full of pride. I'm about to rise, make you vanish like a planet. Just go ahead and die.
These games bore me, but this will bring a smile to my face.
It'll have to wait.
Coward! Who are you? Who are you?
I'll show you. This is who I am. Your reality is far from my own. You have no power here.
I am Thanos. I am all things! This is who I am!
Pitiful.
Is he looking at us? Oh my god! It's Deadpool with a gun!
Behold in endless death.
So you watching any anime?
KO!
Holy shit, now that was epic. This may be the best looking fight they have ever done. Now, with that being said, as good as this fight was, I did have some problems with it. So let's get started with the small problems first. Number one, the Deadpool cameo. Why was that necessary? Have we not had enough of this guy? It just felt like a forced excuse to be able to use Deadpool because he's very popular, and I just found it annoying. I mean, we had Deadpool with Deathstroke and Pinkie Pie. Unless you're bringing him back to fight, do you really need to force him in there? That's what it felt like. It just felt like they just forced Deadpool in there, and I just thought it was just kind of an annoying cameo that wasn't really necessary. But the next problem I have with this fight is the song. I mean, as good as this fight was, whoever thought that song was a good idea needs to be fired. I mean it, Screw Attack. Whoever thought that song was a good idea, fire them. Okay? I mean, I'm sorry, but when I think of Thanos and Darksied fighting, the last thing that comes to my mind is shitty rap music. What the fuck? Why do we need shitty rap hip-hop garbage? I mean, really, this was completely unnecessary. Why couldn't you have gotten something a lot more epic? Some orchestral something? Even some freaking thrash metal or something would have been better than this. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I love this fight, but Jesus Christ, that song. I mean, as soon as I heard it, I just started cringing. And it's not like it's a very good rap or hip-hop song either. It's just whatever. In fact, I might consider re-editing this fight scene with much more appropriate music. And it's not just me that feels this way, because I posted this in 2 death battle communities I'm a part of on my Facebook, and there were other people that agreed with me that the music they chose was just fucking stupid, and some orchestral music would have worked a lot better. So, I don't know who thought that music choice was a good idea, but Jesus Christ, that was just painful. Please never do this again, Death Battle. Oh, who am I kidding? You don't listen to your fans anyway. So I'm probably just screaming at a brick wall at this point. But, what the fuck, it's what I do anyway. Now, as for the analysis, I'm pretty mixed on it, because there have been some reports of Death Battle using non-canon material. Now, I'm not the biggest comic book nerd on the planet, so I can't confirm all of these claims, but if that is the case, let's be honest, this is nothing new for Death Battle. They pull shit like this all the time. But there were other times where the analysis was very well done. I mean, I thought for certain Thanos was going to win because of the Infinity Gauntlet, but I was not aware of the whole thing of the Infinity Gauntlet doesn't work outside of Thanos' universe. I found that very interesting, and that's something that I admit, if I did this as a Blood Royale for my new show, that would have probably slipped right by me. I mean, I didn't know that, and that's the kind of stuff that you gotta look out for, because everyone was thinking for certain that Thanos would win because of the Infinity Gauntlet, but I bet you a lot of people like me didn't know about that rule. So that's very interesting. So some parts of the analysis were really good, but then there are other parts where they start getting sketchy. If the reports are true, they use non-canon material, and that's a huge problem. You can't use non-canon material. A perfect example of this is, as you know, the first episode of Blood Royale is going to be Kimimorra versus Ulquiorra. Now, Ulquiorra has a third form, but you see, here's the problem. I can't use this third form that Ulquiorra has. Now, you see, I heard somewhere that this form is not canon at all. It's just something they made for the game to celebrate. Now, the 2-year anniversary of the phone game. And if that's true, then while his new form is extremely powerful, and I even have my own theory for this form that I'll maybe save for another video, but you see, unless I get some confirmation that this form is canon, I can't use it. It has to be canon. You can't just go around using non-canon material. That is a huge problem. Because if you go around using non-canon material, then anything is fair game. Even a motherfucking fan fiction is fair game, and obviously you wouldn't use evidence from a fan fiction in this case. So yeah, that was a fuck up, but the analysis wasn't all bad. There was just some parts of it that was a little bit sketchy. Now again, I'm not the biggest comic book freak, so I'm probably not the guy that will be able to give you the full breakdown on if they got every little minute detail right, because I'm more of an anime video game expert than I am a comic book expert. However, from what I do know about Darksied and Thanos and what I've seen, this was pretty accurate for the most part. And as I've stated many times before, if the fight itself is good, I can forgive a lot. And at this point, it's not a new thing for Screw Attack at this point to fuck shit up. We're used to it at this point. I mean, I've tried giving them suggestions to improve, but let's be honest, they're probably not going to listen to me, and they're probably not going to listen to you, let's be real. However, though, we could always try. I'll keep making those reviews, and I'm going to be working very hard on Blood Royale, so I can try to be a rival to these fuckers. Maybe, if we hammer it home hard enough, we can eventually get through their thick skulls. But that's something for another time. I'm trying to focus on Darksied versus Thanos, and it really was good. I mean, it's very hard for me to say bad things about this. I mean, I know you're all thinking, like, I know he wants to. And you wouldn't exactly be wrong. I mean, at this point, I'm used to shitting on Death Battle because they're always fucking up. Like I say, every time they make a good Death Battle, they make 3 or 4 shitty ones. And I don't understand why this is. Now, this was definitely handled better than their 100th episode, Mario vs. Sonic, which was total fucking garbage. However, though, here's my question. Why the fuck wasn't Thanos vs. Darkseid the 100th episode? I mean, I get saving it for your season finale, but this is something that would have been a 100 episode special worthy, not Mario vs. Sonic. But I've ranted on Mario vs. Sonic enough, so I'm not even gonna waste my time on that. But yeah, again, for the most part, this really was good, people. It really was. I would highly recommend seeing this Death Battle. And when I get around to making the top 10 best Death Battles, you will most likely see this on the list, and it'll probably be very high. This is easily top 3 best, at the very least. It really was that good. And the fight was fucking epic. And the analysis, yeah, it's whatever at this point. But for me, the main thing that it all comes down to is, yes, the analysis is very important, but the main event is always the fight. I mean, let's be honest, while it is true that Death Battles is mostly about debating which character would win using evidence, that is the meat of a Death Battle, but for me, the main event itself is always gonna be the fight. Let's be honest here, people. There are a lot of channels out there that talk about Death Battles, and the ones that do the best are the ones that actually provide a fight that you can see. I mean, that's the main thing people come for, because while there are people that love being debaters, here's the thing, most people come because they want to see a badass fight. And if you give me a badass fight, I can forgive a lot of your bullshit. And let's be honest here, people, even if they did use non-canon material, it wouldn't have changed the result of this fight in the slightest. Let's be honest here, people. I mean, I'm sure Marvel fans are upset. I mean, I know I am because I put my money on Thanos. But let's be honest here, people. Darkseid had this one in the bag. Maybe we Marvel fans underestimated Darkseid a little bit. But that's besides the point. I think that this was a perfectly fine episode. And for a season finale, this was good. Now, as for the whole entire season as a whole, season 5, it was fucking garbage. I mean, okay, let's try to see how many episodes in season 5 were actually good and how many were fucking garbage. Okay, Darkseid versus Thanos. That was good. Jin versus Ryu. That was good. But then again, that was them fixing their mistake of doing Ryu versus Scorpion, but I'll be nice and give them that one. Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai. That was good. Spyro versus Crash. That was garbage, but if you've seen my top 10 list, you already know that. Lucy versus Carnage. Again, if you've seen my videos, you know how I feel about that one. Roshi versus Jiraiya. It was whatever. It was okay, I guess. It was a fine matchup, but nothing special. Leon versus Frank West. whatever. I mean, Twilight Sparkle versus Raven, who the fuck cares? Optimus Prime versus Gundam, fucking garbage. I mean, I think there was about 4 actual good episodes here. I mean, Jesus Christ, Death Battle. An entire season, and all you can give us is 3-4 good death battles at best. This is pathetic. And the reason why we give you so much shit for this death battle is because you have no fucking excuses. You have all the resources and manpower to give us the best death battles possible, yet you decide to give us an oversaturation of mediocrity and bullshit. And that is the truth. Now, I understand that we live in an era of mediocrity, but that's still no goddamn excuse. You can break the mold. And maybe, Death Battle, you wouldn't have people wanting to create their own shows and be a rival to you because they're sick and tired of your crap, like me. That's why I'm making Blood Royale. I'm getting sick of your garbage. I know a lot of people are, so I want to help give them the show that they would like to see. A show that gives great fights, but at the same time actually knows what the hell they're talking about and isn't dishonest. But with all that being said, don't let this review scare you away. This was a great episode. It really was. One of the best they have done in a long time. I'm glad they had this, and I'm glad they did it right. We've been requesting this for a long time, and I'm glad they did it right. Just like Deadpool vs. Deathstroke, this episode was just about perfect. Obviously not perfect, because you can never expect perfection from these guys. But this is probably about as close to perfect as we will get. So, my final score for this death battle will be a 9 out of 10. I mean, all my problems aside, and all the fans' problems aside, and I'm not going to ignore them. I mean, Death Battle definitely screwed up in some areas, but at this point, we're used to it. However, though, I would still rate this a 9 out of 10 because it was really, really good. And I can't just hate it when we get a fight this epic. And when the fight is so good, it just makes all that time waiting for it feel that much more worthwhile. And I'm glad it happened. So that is my thoughts on Thanos versus Darksied. Great death battle, it really was. Does it have problems? Sure. But this is as close to a perfect death battle as we'll get. So that is that. Now, before I go, I do want to give everyone an update on the first episode of Blood Royale, because I know there are some people wondering what's the update on that. Is there any dates? The animation is nearly complete. All that is left is just the framing. It's almost done. I'm so sorry for the wait. I know it's taking such a long time, but unlike Screw Attack, I don't have the luxury of having an entire team. They're privileged to have that. I don't got jack squat. It's just 2 guys over here. And we're working our hardest. Believe me, we're doing our best to make the first episode of Blood Royale be the best it can be. Because for me, this is the pilot episode, and I do want to make a good first impression. Especially considering the fact that my goal is to be a rival to Screw Attack. And obviously, that's quite the challenge I have ahead of me. I mean, these guys, despite their bullshit, get millions of views. So I got quite the challenge ahead of me, but I'm willing to take the challenge. I understand that I'm going to have to start out small, but I promise I am going to make Blood Royale the best I possibly can. And I'm so sorry that this is taking so long, but I promise you all, just bear with me. It will be worth the wait, I assure you. And those who have been sticking around and still supporting me and following the updates, thank you. I love you all to pieces. I promise it won't be that much longer. So just bear with me, guys. And with that being said, I'll see you guys around next time. I'll keep you guys updated because I have a couple more update videos I want to make, but I wanted to focus on just Darksied versus Thanos, but I also wanted to give you guys an update before I leave. So with that being said, I'll see you guys around for the next video.
As they made their stand, but disregarded demand. It's a rebel.